coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning. Good morning. It is time to wake up and have coffee with the skipper. Got to get your day started off right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see who we got in here. We got Sear, who was first, and then we got Nancy and Seagirl. Good morning. Then we got Tracy Spencer, and that's all I'm seeing right. Oh, Joan is here, and Colleen. Good morning. Good morning. We are we're getting our day started off right, talking about all the happenings of the day. I did love that yesterday Lips admitted that she faked the obituary. Now she's faking phone calls of Jeremy. You know, the leopard doesn't change its spots. She desperately wants attention. She is not going and getting any type of therapy, and that's why she's faking these things. Hey, Georgie, good morning, bestie. Good to see you. Right here is bestie. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a fun day today. Speaking of walking, I will be in the Palm Springs Veterans Day Parade today. Me and Glory will be in there walking. Won't we, pretty girl? Yeah, we're going to be walking. So that'll be fun. A lot of veterans go out and get free meals today. They go to like Chili's and TGI Fridays. A lot of those things, they're not as good as what they say. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to get all these free meals. And then, you go and it's like, no, you get a choice of these two entrees. And it's like, okay, well, that's not as good as what you build it as. Hey, John, good morning. Good to see you here this morning. You made a video of Lips. Here's the thing. She's now a teacher and she's doing all this crazy shit. Do the parents know Do the parents know that that's what she's doing? Um, that she's doing all this stuff and that she's doing videos and putting these kids online. Did do the parents know that? That's my question. And it's not a problem to ask that question. But the fleas, I remember the fleas, because I just posted the obituary and I said, "Is this true?" And according to the fleas, that meant I was the one that created the obituary. I don't need to create fake stuff. That's not me. It's not my style. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I find it really funny when people do shit like that. But yeah, I have no need to do that. But yet they were saying I did it. Do you think they're gonna come out and say, no, actually, we were wrong. Skipper didn't do that? I don't think they will.
Who are you calling a cootie queen, you lint liquor?
I was up early. I've had several cups of coffee already. Uh, was talking to my mom this morning just about various things. Um, Apparently, Trump wants all of the air traffic controllers who stayed on duty despite the shutdown. He wants them to get an extra $10,000. I think that's nice. I think that's a nice way to say thank you. Um, we'll see. Um, uh, yeah, there's a fight brewing in the Democrat Party over this. People are in the Democrat Party very unhappy with Schumer. They thought he should have fought harder. I don't know how much harder he could have fought. There was literally a government shutdown. Some of these people I don't think are like I just don't think what they're doing is very smart. Um, I'm trying to think. I'm seeing more and more people posting things about these ICE raids, talking about, oh, they're taking them from families. They can leave. They can self-deport. We don't have to put up with illegal immigration. That's the whole point of this. Hey, good morning, Teresa. Good to see you. I appreciate Teresa. She was like, "We support you, Skipper. I thank you so much. I really do." Hellhound, Hellhound. Good morning. Good morning. The holdup is over hemp. What do you mean by that? Um, there's still going to be some flight delays. Yeah, looks like the government will be fully open by Thursday. The House did vote on it either last night or this morning. I can't remember. I didn't see. Oh, thank you. Yep, it is Veterans Day. Thank you to all you veterans out there. Uh, it will be fun. Me and Glory, we walked in the parade several times. We did walk in last year's parade. And we've got some plans. Like we're gonna go down the hill, we're gonna walk in the parade, and we're gonna do a couple other things while we're down there. Army gynecologist took secret videos of patients during intimate exams. This is the problem with government healthcare. Like the military and the VA, they literally hire doctors who don't have licenses. At least 25 women have been contacted by Army criminal investigators after they found photos and videos on Dr. Blaine McGraw's devices, a military official told NBC News. Oh, he was at Fort Hood in Texas. Fort Hood, the most dysfunctional base in all of the military. Why Congress has not gone into Fort Hood and just said, why is this place such a fucking problem? I don't know. I don't know. Republicans are trying to ban the sale of CBD and hemp products. I mean, I think that's stupid. I really think it's stupid. Like, I don't care about marijuana. I really don't. CBD is even dumber. Like fighting over CBD, it's like there's lots of people use it for various things. I've taken CBD. I just don't find the marijuana helps with my PTSD, even though people are like, "Oh, it cures us." No, it doesn't cure anything. It just it's a treatment. It should be treated as any other treatment. It's like Tylenol. It should be treated like that. So, yeah, like uh, marijuana, like we've spent so many years going after marijuana. Like, just stop. Fort Hood, go figure. You have missing people and sexual deviance. Yep. Yep. I don't get w- why have they not just gone in? Like, sending a committee in and just clean house. That's all you need to do. But they're so scared to do that. We should be doing that with the FBI. I am so disappointed that we're still finding out stuff in the FBI and then Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. The biggest letdowns. Uh, Pam Bondi's a letdown. Those three need to go. Like they're not doing Trump any favors. Now, Harmeet Dillon is doing a great job. Like she is spectacular. She needs to be the next attorney general. Absolutely. I only take it when my panic attacks get severe. Right? For me, when I've had a severe attack, I have gone and gotten marijuana gummies. It's not often. I want to say 2020 was the last time. So that shows you how often Kosh Pocket Troll Patel. Well, the thing is, he should be doing a straight up commission, clearly cleaning out. We're still finding out things about the FBI. Look at this pipe bomber situation. They know who the pipe bomber is, and it was um, a Capital DC police officer who is apparently now working for the CIA. Like, oh, we should see everything about that, but they really need to do a commission to clean house. Like, clearly, it's too much for Kash Patel. No, they have done some good things. Like, dude, they have Comey dead to rights. You guys realize that, right? Comey is so screwed. They have a handwritten memo where he says that where he says HRC plan to tie Trump to Russia, like handwritten in Comey's uh, handwriting, and it was in a burn bag hidden in a skiff, and they were just hoping to hold out, hoping that they wouldn't find it before the statute of limitations. Well, they found it a month, like a month before the statute of limitations, and that's how they were able to get Comey um, indicted. He is screwed. He Comey and Bolton are screwed. Comey used a civilian email to send classified information to what was it, Daniel Brickman? I think Daniel Brickman was the guy's name. Sue flat out is and now getting police protection. Well, I'm telling you, the more and more people learn about that, that's going to come to an end. Lips facing joint bar complaint. Shock at Sue's Bruce and Megan. Um, Megan amended her filing against Lips in court. Your thoughts on ATSC 3.0 that Ion TV has been talking? I don't know about Ion TV. So yeah, I don't know about that. Lips, yeah, her bar complaint is going to go forward. The lawsuit against Bruce, very well founded. I didn't know about Megan's amended complaint. A lot of stuff happened yesterday, and I was not home. I was driving, and I'll be driving a lot today too. Yeah, veterans should get the day off today. Like every veteran should get the day off. So that's interesting about Fort Hood. Um, I'm just looking through the news here. There's not a lot that archaeologists find Noah's Ark with groundbreaking radar discovery. Yeah, I've heard that before. Um, when it comes to empathy, GPT is more human than real doctors. there's a lot of, I think when we all look at it, I think we're going to find there's more serial killers in the medical industry than anywhere else. Like like I think it will pale in comparison to the serial killers that we've found out and about. Getting ready to play with lips. It seems she has an issue with people who have autism, so that has my full attention. I mean, I just she's posting videos of students. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. They will never find Noah's Ark. Yeah, I've heard this from archaeologists and from, Bible people before. I don't believe a lot of the shit they say until it's accepted. Ice agents pose at the bean. I don't care. It's not a big deal for me. They're people at the end of the day. Yeah, a lot of Democrats are mad about the end of the shutdown and want Schumer removed. There's a big part of the very, very far left who's been gaining power in the Democrat Party, but all that's going to do is just turn off Middle America. Like literally, they're just going to put more Republicans in power. Megan found Lips' new channel. Let's say it's not safe for work. Okay. Just read an article about Noah's Ark, another rabbit hole. Yeah, that's what these generally are. Palmer's, was that you that sent me a friend request? Using each other's merch again this morning, right? Yep. Carnival cruise guest death under FBI investigation. Let's see what this one is. FBI is investigating death of a passenger aboard a Carnival Cruise Line ship. The cruise line told USA Today the guest's death took place on a Carnival Cruise Horizon, which returned to Miami on November 8th. It was on a 6-day Caribbean cruise. The guest family identified her as 18-year-old Anna Kepner. Very young. The FBI told the Carnival spokeswoman told USA it's standard practice for the FBI to review deaths on cruises. Is it? That seems like it wouldn't be. Supreme Court seems unlikely to back Rastafarian, whose dreadlocks were cut off. Justice Amy Coney Barrett said what happened to David Landor is egregious, but the justices have to look beyond the facts of his case to decide if prisoners can sue for monetary damages. Supreme Court is increasingly protective of religious rights, nonetheless seem wary of allowing a Rastafarian to sue a Louisiana prison guards for damages after they forcibly shaved off his knee-length dreadlocks. During 2 hours of arguments, Amy Coney Barrett called what happened to David Landor egregious. So if we were looking for a case that should be in which there should be money damages, this is it, she said. But Barrett added that justices have to think about the decision could affect other situations, even outside of the religious rights of prisoners, in which public employees could be sued. We can't decide a case just based on these facts. Okay. That's how the Supreme Court is. Um, there is things out there showing that the Supreme Court is taking less and less cases a year, and uh, we they should be taking more, in my opinion. So that'll be interesting to see if he can sue over his dreadlocks. He showed prison officials a copy of a court ruling that dreadlocks grown for religious reasons should be accommodated as they were in previous prisons where his was held. But an intake guard threw the ruling in the trash and called the warden. Okay. So that'll be an interesting case. The Supreme Court really does like taking up the religious cases. They really do. Um, they did cut his dreads. I don't think they shaved him, but I think they cut his dreads because they said they were down to his knees. Um, so I think what it's going to come down to is, does the threat of being able to smuggle things in your dreads outweigh the religious aspect? Um, it'll be interesting to see what the Supreme Court says. I'm sure they'll come up with some new test. Because if they allow it, then you got to think. Then you're going to have Sikhs with their beards. That there are ripple effects that would come from that. Kate Gosselin is talking about her boyfriend 16 years after John Gosselin divorced. This chick is absolutely nuts. Like, this chick is batshit crazy. Reality TV alum Kate Gosselin is letting fans into her love life. Well, she did do that thing where she did an Instagram or a TikTok, I can't remember which one. And she's not monetized, or at least wasn't. And yeah, she's just batshit. She's just batshit. Uh, there are always deaths on cruises. Actually, Georgie, they actually have a morgue on cruise ships because people die. Embarrassing to be a cop, FBI, or CIA agent. Yeah, that's they need to do like a tower commission and just go through the FBI, CIA, NSA, through all of these agencies, because it's very blatant, the political bias of some of these people. They were what's the Operation Arctic Frost? Now that we know about that, that should never have occurred. That's where they were just spying on people for political reasons. No, 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 no. In a November 8th Instagram reel and TikTok video, John K plus 8 star opened up about her current 10 obsessions, which started with her 8 children. Well, her one kid doesn't even want to talk to her anymore. And I believe she institutionalized that kid, and then John had to go get him out. Number 2 on the list, my boyfriend, had her followers running to the comment section to share their thoughts on the 50-year-old's hard launch. Her romantic partner is Steve Neild, her family's former bodyguard. Wow. She's been dating someone for the past year to a little over a year, maybe like 14, 15 months. She added, I'm super, super happy. It's someone that I've known for a really long time, and I'm very, very happy. Yeah, she's been banging him for a long time, without question. See, I can make snap judgments on people. Let's hope that both state and federal cases go to state and U.S. Supreme Court, or I don't think they will go to either of those, appeals court or Supreme Court. Because here's the thing, like, there's no reason to at this point. If it goes to Supreme or appeals court, it's because something went wrong. Shaving heads is a thing every prison does, not only for smuggling things, but they can't have bugs, so they can't allow in prisons. Yeah, there's just a couple reasons I could see why they could do it. If he didn't want his haircut, he shouldn't have done the crime. Well, and that's going to be the thing. As a prisoner, you do give up certain rights. So where the Supreme Court is going to draw that line is going to be very interesting. But here's the thing. Everyone's expecting some landmark decision. I would not be surprised if the Supreme Court were to punt it. And when I say punt it, meaning from what I read that article, I did get some hint that there could be some administrative or technicalities where they could say that he doesn't have the right to sue, doesn't have standing. That happens a lot. So people looking for this big ruling, it's like Supreme Court doesn't like to do big rulings, but they will take up religious questions. But do not be surprised if they say, "Oh yeah, well he doesn't even have the right to sue, so yeah, we'll dismiss it." Or they might do what they call GVR, grant, vacate, remand, which is where they set aside the ruling and just send it back to a district court judge. Before I leave for the day, I can go drive. I think about how I'm going to avoid cops. You'd think I was a criminal. I don't think about that ahead of time. But I'll tell you this. I do have a dash cam. If cops pull me over, hey, I'm just letting you know you are being recorded. Now, some people are like, you shouldn't tell them that. Let them make a mistake. No, I'm not of that mind. If that's what you're going to do, you go right ahead. I'm going to tell them up front, I am recording you, and I will be recording everything I do of my interaction with you. Yeah, not everyone that avoids, you should avoid cops. I really do believe that. If I see cops on the street, I'm not going to walk up to them unless if I have need to. So, yeah, there's not many stories there. Let's see what CNN has. If you guys notice, I read a lot of media that does not align to my worldview, and you should do that as well. If you read media that doesn't agree with your opinions, you're going to be much more well-rounded about your opinions, because you're gonna know what the other side is saying. Trump floats $2,000 tariff rebate checks. What you need to know. That would be great. That would be great. Tariffs are a very powerful thing for the president. They really are. And I don't think we've used them to our advantage. I obey laws that don't seem to help at all. Cops are hate crime just waiting to happen. If you can't understand, you're disconnected. One thing I did see, and I was going to send this to TC, Exchange Online. If you're a veteran, you can actually shop at the exchanges. Now, the base might not let you on. Each base can make its own decisions about who they let on, who they don't. But yeah, if you are a veteran, you can at least shop at the exchange online, not pay any taxes, which is really big, especially when it comes to furniture and appliances. But I was looking in there yesterday, and they have a GoPro Hero 9 on sale, $75. And if you don't know what a GoPro Hero 9 is, it's a really great camera. So I was going to mention that to TC and to Kanu, because we all do, lots of recording when we're out and about. And the GoPro, the Hero 9, it's like this big. It's not very big at all. So really small. You can hook it to your chest. You can hook it onto your thing. I actually might buy one. I'm thinking about it. Fact check. Trump's lying spree about inflation. Let's take a look at this. This is on CNN. President Trump went on a lying spree about inflation last week. Grocery prices, gas prices, prescription drug prices, overall prices. Shut up. Prices are up during this Trump presidency. They are, but they're not up like much as compared to Biden's. Like Biden had a 9% inflation at one point. Every price is down. It's debatable. Everything is way down. I really hope Trump is going to refocus on on his domestic agenda. I'm tired of the foreign stuff. No, you're fine, Darlene. I'm just glad that you're here. I'm just glad that you're here. Just give them a fair warning when it comes to your home. They like to disable your cameras. I've seen GoPros on divers ready. So I do have security cameras, and I do put them up where they can't be immediately tampered with. And yes, I think when cops do mess with your cameras, I think especially if they're there to serve something, I think that should be evidence tampering. But you should put your cameras in places where they can't immediately be tampered with, as well. A Ring camera to me is not like we're gonna put a Ring camera up on my thing, but that is not my main camera. I have I'm not gonna talk about how many cameras, but I've got cameras up where like even a tall person, if they reached up and touched, they wouldn't be able to get to them. I'd love to be able to shop on base and get new Peacoat. So you can use Exchange Online. You need to sign up for ID Me as a veteran. And then, yeah, once you're in ID Me, you can absolutely shop at the Exchange Online, or you can create an account for Exchange Online. And yeah, you won't pay taxes. So Sear has been I'm trying to think of like the term, has been manhandled by the VA police, and his local police would not help. Prices are up during this administration. Average prices were 1.7% higher in September than they were in January. That's not a lot. 1.7%. Yeah, it's an increase, but that's not a lot. There has been inflation every month of the term. Yeah, but it's been steady inflation. Inflation has accelerated to 3%. 3% is healthy inflation. It is. Now, we want prices down. I totally get it, but 3% is actually very sustainable, very healthy inflation. We have almost no. Trump claimed on Friday we have almost no inflation. We're down to 2%. Yeah, it's actually, I think inflation last time I looked was at 2.9%. So Trump's rounding down, they're rounding up. It's really not that big of a deal. So he's a liar. He's a liar. I need a thing about.
You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Trump's a liar.
Right to jail. Right to jail. Right away.
The September rate, 3%, was same as the rate in January, the month Trump returned to office. Inflation of 3% is simply not inflation of 2%. Inflation was down to like 1 point something percent at one point. So yeah, like he's probably looking at like an average over the year. This is not like he's a liar. Like we're only arguing over a couple percentage points. Can you stop? Kitty, can you stop? He jumped up in my lap, and now he's like trying to get me to move. He doesn't even know how he wants to lay here. So yeah, whether it's 2% or 3%, who the hell cares? Grocery prices have increased, not decreases. Trump said Thursday grocery prices are way down, but grocery prices are actually up. 1.4%. That 1.4% is very steady. That's not a big deal. Index figures showed they rose 2.7% between September 2024, September 25. Again, very sustainable increases. Okay. Prescription drug prices can't come down. Trump continued to mathematically impossible figures when making claims about how much he's supposedly reducing prescription drug prices. We're bringing drug prices down to levels nobody ever thought was possible. Now we're cutting it down to 1,000%, 1,200%. This is where people they freak out so much about Trump. Like, yeah, Trump is he's gonna spin things as positive as possible. Are prices up on stuff? Yeah, they are. Some things have dropped, not enough. As I go through this, Biden era inflation was high, but Trump didn't inherit the worst ever. It was pretty high during, yeah. It it wasn't the highest in history, as CNN and others have noticed in numerous articles. Trump could have fairly said the inflation rate hit a 40-year high under Biden in June 2022 when it was at 9.1%, but that was not close to the all-time record of 23.7% set in 1920. And Trump didn't mention that it declined by 3% by Biden's 9.1% is a lot. Okay. And in the modern era, yeah, that's a lot of inflation. And yeah, especially in the 40 last 40 years. Oil and gas prices are down, but not household energy prices. Again, you're getting into too many of the semantics. This is just a whining article. There's something I saw about why do they have an ad that takes up half the page? This is why some of these media outlets are just so ridiculous. Like literally, here, I'll share it with you. It takes up half of the page. Look at that. How do you read news with that? This is why, yeah, you got to scroll down, but still, like this is unreadable. Oh my god. I don't know what the Tina Peters case is. Maybe you guys know. I'm all in all, I'm not in favor of using the military to strike the boats. Like it's not a big deal for me, but I'm not in favor of it. If we're gonna bomb, then we should be bombing Mexico. That's the way I feel about it. Like if we're gonna bomb over drugs, we should be bombing Mexico. Way more drugs come through Mexico. I have a marketing degree. A full page ad matters. Granted, it's from 40 years ago. Yeah, all it does is piss me off when I see him. The Indians Veterans Day Parade canceled, ceremony relocated. So Utah has a new congressional map, and I had people arguing with me saying they don't redistrict this late in the 10-year period. Yeah, they do. They do it all the time. It happens all the time. Redistricting always happens. Democrats are seething over the shutdown deal, but they might be celebrating a year from now. I don't think so because the after January 1st, the Republicans can use reconciliation for the next budget deal. They can only use reconciliation twice in a year. And I'm trying to think, they used it for the big beautiful bill and something else. So that's why the shutdown happened. Think you could be getting pissed on. Good morning, Coop. Sexism at Hexas Pentagon contributed to the ousting of female elite commander, military insiders allege. Look at this. This is fucking unreadable. She was the best man for the job. Oh, and then they put it behind a paywall. Go fuck yourself. You're not that. Your articles aren't that good, CNN. Like, your website looks like shit. It looks like absolute shit. Trump asked SCOTUS to overturn verdict that he sexually abused and defamed E. Jean Carroll. President Trump on Monday asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review the $5 million civil case that found he sexually abused and defamed magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll. Last year, federal appeals court affirmed the jury's verdict and $5 million judgment against Trump, ruling the judge did not make errors that would warrant a new trial. In June, lost an effort to have the appeal reviewed by the full bench of judges. Federal appeals court. Trump has claimed Judge Lewis Kaplan, who oversaw the civil trial, made numerous errors by allowing the jury to hear testimony from two women who alleged Trump sexually assaulted them years ago. His lawyers also said the judge should not have let the jurors see the Hollywood Access tape, which captured Trump in 2025 on a hot mic saying he gropes and kisses women. There's actually a pretty good thing to be made about that. If it wasn't about the instance with her, then it's prejudicial and shouldn't be brought in at trial. Carroll sued Trump, alleging he sexually assaulted her in a New York department store. Okay. What they should have allowed was Trump to introduce evidence showing that she stole the whole idea from an episode of Law and Order. There were no eyewitnesses, no video evidence, no police report. Yeah, like it was a very flimsy case. She waited more than 20 years to falsely accuse Trump. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with this case. I don't know if it'll go to the Supreme Court with this, because this is what they consider an interlocutory appeal. Trump is still appealing this in New York. So, which means the case is still going on. The Supreme Court generally doesn't like that. Same thing with the federal appeals courts. They did, a different jury found Trump liable for defaming Carroll for his repeated statements, or to pay $83 million in damages. Federal appeals court panel affirmed the damages award, finding it reasonable in light of extraordinary and egregious facts. Yeah, I think that's going to be appealable right there, and rejected several of Trump's legal challenges. Among them, the appeals court found that Trump previously waived any claim of presidential immunity. This is going to be a problem for the appeals court, and said the Supreme Court's decision last year involving criminal cases did not alter their view. Yeah, I don't think Trump can waive political immunity or presidential immunity. I don't think that's possible at all. Because see, you don't look at this from a Trump aspect. Look at it as from any president aspect. The president will always have immunities. Like, because they're the president, we expect the president to make very hard decisions off of very little information sometimes. And sometimes they need information that is going to come from sources that we can't talk about publicly and stuff like that. So to say that he waived immunity, I don't see the Supreme Court. Now, does that mean the Supreme Court is going to take up this case? Probably not. This is going to be a GVR case. I see. Just by in general reading this, like, I'm not reading the actual the actual decision. So I'm assuming that CNN is giving me an accurate portrayal of what was argued in court and put in the docket. So I'm making some assumptions, but based upon this, like that right there, an appeals court found that Trump had previously waived any claim of presidential. I don't think you can waive presidential immunity, because if you were to waive it, then that means so much other stuff could come in, because, well, he waived it. So now we can introduce anything. Well, and this is the problem with the case about Stormy Daniels, the one that Judge Marcon overseed over. Like, they brought in Hope Hicks and made her testify over objections about conversations she had in the White House. And again, the Supreme Court said, look, there's anything constitutional is absolutely immune. Anything tied to anything constitutional is presumptively immune. And presumptively immune means there's a very high bar to get over presumptive immunity, and you have to have you've got to have um, what am I trying to say? You got to have evidentiary hearings and talk about these things. These are big implications, because it'll affect future presidents, not just Trump. And a lot of these things that they did, it was just to get Trump. It was part of their Trump derangement syndrome. And yeah, that's why these cases they're gonna lose. Like, Trump has been very successful this term in the appeals courts and into the Supreme Court. And this is why, is because, you know, they're they're approaching it all as, well, it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump. You got to look at it from any president. So I don't think any president should be able to waive any of their presidential immunity. Not at all, because we expect the president to act like without any chains. And if you start telling the president, well, you can't say this or you can't do this, because then you're waiving the immunity, um, that that's not a very good precedent that we want to set for our. Um, sorry, I'm getting things beeping on me. It's not a very good precedent that we want to set for our future presidents. Um, and also for past, because if Trump could waive immunity, that means, guess what? That means Obama could have waived the immunity. See, this is a very slippery slope. You think if they actually go forward and say, well, Trump waived his immunity, so now he can be sued, you don't think there's going to be lawsuits, people lining up to sue Biden and Obama? Oh, you're lining things up for a bad precedent. So, and I'm not looking at this from any political stance. I'm looking at this purely from a legal stance and the problems it's going to cause. Yeah, John, you got to get going. I appreciate you being here. Didn't see a lot of comments from you, John, but that's okay. I'm glad to have you here. Um, so yeah, I think they screwed up. The appeals court made a big boo boo. I think the Supreme Court. I think they'll find a way to correct it. Um, and it'll be like, the Supreme Court will punt every time they can, but they will correct things even when they're punting. Like, I think that'll be GVR'd, where it's, hey, we're going to set aside your decision because we don't think you got it right, and we're going to give you a chance to reconsider. That's the Supreme Court's nice way of saying you're wrong. California is under a family cartel of politics, and it's because California has term limits. So many Republicans want to argue with me. Term limits are not a good thing. They are horrible. There was a 12 killed in Islamabad suicide attack. Um, hmm. BBC leaders resign amid scandal of misleading edit of Trump's speech. I have seen this. And look, we had Gabriel yesterday who was in here who I guarantee you Gabriel gets look because these news organizations use each other. So I guarantee you one of his news sources uses the BBC, or probably most of them use them very heavily because the BBC is very well trusted overseas. Same thing with Reuters. They don't really trust the AP that often, which I don't get. Because we love the AP here in the US. Like you might not love them, but at least like they're a trusted news source. Two top leaders at the BBC resigned Sunday amid escalating scandal over impartiality and bias that plunged Britain's public broadcaster in one of the biggest crises in recent years. BBC most senior executive director Tim Davie and the chief executive of news division Deborah Turness both quit after the leak of a deeply critical memo that, among other things, revealed that the BBC misleadingly edited a speech by U.S. President Donald Trump to make it appear he had directly called for violence on January 6th. Yes. Turness said the controversy over a documentary made the BBC's Panorama series reached a stage where it's causing damage to the BBC, an institution I love. The buck stops with me. She added, Samir Shah, chair of the BBC, apologized for what he called an error of judgment over the way the Trump speech was edited. Yeah, like you're putting out fake news. Like, and if you're against Trump, stop doing this. All you're doing is you're just making Trump look correct. Like that's why Trump wins, because you guys keep doing this and acting like he's the problem. Like just like that guy, the article I read earlier where the guy was whining, well, Trump lied. That was such a stupid and pedantic article. Like there's plenty of shit you can actually take Trump to task on. That's not it. Um, Allegations led White House press secretary Carolyn Levitt to blast the BBC as 100% fake news and a propaganda machine. British taxpayers are forced to foot the bill for a leftist propaganda machine, Levitt said in an interview. Levitt posted a brief response to X, presenting the headline from the Telegraph article, followed by the BBC article announcing Davie's resignation. After a report of the dossier emerged, Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., shaded on X, writing, fake news reporters in the UK are just as honest and full of S as the ones here in America. Yep. And you guys did that. You guys shot yourself in the foot. All you had to do was just report on Trump honestly, but they can't do that. Their TDS prevents them. So, all right, guys. Well, that's been the news. It's not quite 8 o'clock yet, but I'm gonna get going. I got a very busy day today. It's Veterans Day. I gotta go get my free shit. No, I don't. There's not a lot. There's free meals. That's about it. So if you know of anything free that hey, shoot it to me. I'm probably gonna go and get a free meal at one of the places, which is a place I really do enjoy eating. I'm not going to Chili's. I'm not going to Applebee's. I'm not going to those places. Like, ugh. But there are places out there I do like going that I will go to today. So all you veterans out there, happy Veterans Day. Hope you have a great one. Um, I'm thinking I might stream um I might stream the parade on TikTok. Um, maybe I'll do it on YouTube. I don't know, but yeah, I will be streaming it somewhere. So I haven't done much on TikTok the last couple days, so that's why. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. California, New York are the top of the list, right? The I live in California. California is an absolute dumpster fire. Like do you know how hard it is for me to get homeowners insurance here? And our electricity is going up and up and up, and the state is all on board with it. They do not like you. All right, guys. I will talk with you later. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.